Hey everyone, this is Rob.
Hey, Michelle.
And welcome to Bunebape, your weekly podcast and everything you need to know about old school RuneScape.
Meet Mer.
All right, so this week up on the docket, of course, as always, we'll be starting off with what we've been up to this week, games we played and stuff like that. And then we actually have a few things to go through, but honestly, it's not as much as you might think, considering it is 3 blogs.
Well, I'm excited about one of the blogs.
Yes, one of the blogs.
I wonder if we're excited about the same blog.
We'll see. So first off, we're just going to take a quick trip down audio lane, and it really is going to be brief. We're just talking about a little bit of behind the scenes on how they're updating the sounds in RuneScape to make them sound, well, just straight up better, bring them into the 21st century. So that's cool. And then we'll take a look at poll 83 quality of life changes, which this is the one that I was excited about.
That's the one I'm excited. I love quality of life. Like, it's always so fun.
Yeah, they're really good changes. I mean, they've talked about some of these, and some of these they haven't talked about, so it'll be really cool.
What I really like about the poll ones, the poll quality of life, is how you forget about them while they're developing, and then they're released, and you're like, oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's because they take so long.
Well, I'm thinking of the positive here.
You're like, oh, surely they're not doing that. Whoa, it's
no,
been a year. That's crazy.
The happy part. We're excited.
Yeah. So we will take a look at the quality of life changes for poll 83. Hopefully that means that there's going to be another poll out soon. They did allude to a new poll a few weeks ago, and
you mean new quality of life, because we already have the Yama poll.
Yeah, a new quality of life.
Okay,
poll.
I was like,
so hopefully we'll see some more of that soon, and we'll be ending off on the sailing alpha, which is
we already actually discussed that. They put at the top of the page.
Yeah, why did they do that?
They're keep.
I was reading, I was like, March 20th.
Yeah, so on their news post, if you guys ever look at their website, they always go in.
Every time they update it, it goes to the top.
Yeah, but they didn't update it. It's still March 20th. They just have the sailing things perma stuck for this month, I think, at the top.
Yeah, I guess we can update everyone that it's over.
It's over?
The alpha should be over.
I guess it should be like by the time this is out.
Yeah, by the time this is out, the alpha should be over.
Unless they extended it, but I haven't seen anything about that.
Because for anyone that wasn't aware, it was only supposed to last a week.
Welp, I never went back.
Yeah, I mean,
I forgot.
Most people never did. So you just logged in, made sure it worked like everyone else, and I'm sure they got plenty of feedback. So it is over. But the thing that we are going to actually be covering is the new Delve boss rewards yet again. This is with some fresh feedback and stuff like that, so we'll be going over that as well. Cool. And as usual, we will be ending off with our typical question and answer Q&A. So feel free to ask us any questions about the game or
other games or
just real life stuff. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Ask us anywhere on any of our socials, which you can find linked below, or go to discord.gg/Bunebape. You can join the community, and also there's a question section there.
And we do movie nights.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
But anyways, before we get into all that cool stuff, Michelle, how's it going?
It's good. You're like, that's pretty much it. And I was like, is he gonna ask me? Ask me.
No, that's it.
Doing good. Not gone to purple yet. So not doing that good, to be honest. It's a pretty dark time. We've probably at this point done at least 20 raids. I'd like to think it's more, but I have not been keeping track. Still have not gone purple. If you didn't hear last week, now I'm doing chambies with one of our mods, Evercore, or Wraith, as I like to say. And we're like, let's get a duo Tebow. And we're not getting any purples. Wraith did get a purple without me, a dragon or crossbow last week, so that was messed up, but nothing since then. So hopefully we can finally get lucky. It's really weird. We're doing to be fair, we're only doing 2 raids a night during the week, and then I play Skyrim. And then on weekends, though, I've been doing 5 raids whenever I stream. So hopefully soon.
Nice.
We are doing regular raids, and we're not doing scaled because I don't pay attention because I'm streaming, because I'm talking a lot.
Cool.
Yeah. So hopefully we can get something. I have not gotten anything in game. I'm also hard stuck at 799 collection log slots. I've been doing clues, but I just cannot get that 800th. So working on that too.
I mean,
soon.
Yeah, you're definitely like 600 off, so you have quite a few things you could get if you wanted to.
Why would you say that?
I was just saying that there's a lot more stuff you could be getting.
Remember
you're not really stuck
how much time I put trying to get the Scurrius for collection log? That was only 1 slot.
Yeah, true. That was weird.
That's nuts. I've also been playing Skyrim. I don't even know what I'm doing in Skyrim right now, so I can't tell you about it. And yeah, I'm having fun. And then in real life, we got gym memberships. I know. I know. If you're on Spotify or YouTube, you're like, they're looking super jacked right now.
Yeah, it's actually just 2 bodybuilders in front
Can
of
you
you.
flex through them?
I've been.
Oh, okay. Well, me too.
Yeah.
I've been flexing for sure.
Like, why do you think my neck is like 2 feet wide right now?
That'd be concerning. That'd be like an allergic reaction.
It's because I'm flexing.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna die. That doesn't sound good.
Yeah, we all are actually.
Oh, I was talking about that on stream last night about how like sometimes I remember that death's inevitable and it's not if, it's a when. And I'm like, that doesn't feel right. I don't know. I don't like it. Sounds fake.
Yeah, let's move on to something less depressing.
Sorry. But yeah, we're going to the gym and this is depressing in a different way. I am so weak. We went and we were doing, was it shoulder press?
It was a
shoulder extension?
A seated shoulder press.
And what is it called when you put the plates on it? What kind of, it's not a machine.
Yeah, it's a plate loaded.
Loaded machine. And we tried 15 pounds, could not budget. Tried with 10 pounds, no. 5 pounds, I was like, ugh. We took off the weight. And then Robert's like, just try it with your right arm only. As it was, without any weight, just the weight of the machine was too much and I could not do it. Once we went to the actual machine, I was able to because it's not like the plate loaded.
Yeah, it wasn't plate loaded.
I could do 8 pounds.
Yeah.
And it was so hard because usually we do like 10 reps and I was just like, all right, I'm just going to do 8. And then my last 2, I had to like stop and be like, sit there for 20 seconds, then be like,
it is an unusual muscle group.
Yeah, but we were stronger.
Most people don't lift things overhead practically ever.
I don't think this has to do with pull-ups at all, but I want to learn how to do a pull-up, so I feel like this is part of my grind.
Sure.
I was literally asking Robert.
Totally not, but sure.
I was literally asking him while we were there yesterday. We've only gone twice. I was like, so is this going to help me? Like if I fall off a cliff and I have to raise myself up?
No, not even a little bit.
And he was telling me how hard that would be with anything. And I was like,
that would be incredibly difficult.
Because he said like you have to move your elbows. I don't know. Maybe one of you guys are like super jacked and like it's actually easy. I do that.
Anyone that's ever done a pull-up, like think about how doing a pull-up is easy because your body can go underneath the bar.
Now, like a straight up
now pull-up. Imagine if your body could not go underneath the bar.
That's like what I hate about shows is people be pulling themselves up off cliffs all the time, no issue.
You could.
Every TV show movie.
You would have to be incredibly fit.
Yeah, but you know, like everyone can.
Yeah.
In shows and movies.
Yeah.
Just like I don't believe you.
Also, the fact that they do it without like throwing their leg over the ledge first to like help themselves up. Like if they could just pull themselves up on top of a ledge, that means that they can do a more difficult than normal muscle up.
Yeah. That reminds me of like getting out of the pool when I was younger and just being like scrabbling to get out.
Yeah.
And looking like really cool. I did it.
That's really cool.
But yeah, so we're on a muscle journey, you could say. Getting pretty jacked, getting pretty yacked.
Yeah, we're gonna probably compete in our first bodybuilding competition coming up here.
One of the gyms we went to that we did not decide to go with is a lifting club kind of gym.
Yeah, it was a lifting club.
I guess that bodybuilders go there. They had a room dedicated for practicing posing.
Yeah,
for body
posing
builders.
For anyone that isn't familiar with bodybuilding, like competitive bodybuilding, posing is a really big part of it.
Well, yeah, you have to know the correct poses to show off.
Yes, actually, like people will hire posing coaches.
Yeah, well, because the way I'm posing, like if I even had muscles, that wouldn't actually look good.
And also, you can like actually hurt yourself if you pose incorrectly. And one, like you said, there's better ways to show off your muscles.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense. I mean, bodybuilding is pretty hardcore. I'm not gonna go do that, but my goal is to not be weak. That's my goal.
True. You could look like the new Arnold, which would be Chris Bumstead. And
I don't know who this is. Chris Bumstead?
Chris Bumstead is the current
Canadian retired bodybuilder.
He is retired now. He's had children and has retired.
Looking in the mirror. Yeah, it is funny though because like you see how they look normally, just like a selfie compared to their posing, and it's completely different.
Yeah, very very different. So
like they don't look like that just walking around town.
I don't know if he was the 4-time or the 5-time Mr. Olympia, but a lot of people compare him to Arnold for a lot of reasons.
Wait, you think I look like him?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was
Oh
saying.
my gosh.
Because I mean, you look like him, but like you don't have the posing down, so that's why
Yeah.
there's
If
there's
I
a
had the
big
posing
difference.
down, I'd be able to pull myself off of a cliff for sure.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
posing is what's stopping me.
Yes.
On the cliff, just like,
yes,
help me.
Just like that.
That would be the stupidest death. Someone watching me like, what are you doing? And then I'd fall.
That reminds me of the way that guy died in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
How?
Oh, that reminds literally.
The last Airbender. Who died in Avatar?
Oh, you don't remember that?
No.
Oh, whenever he's talking in the Avatar state, he's talking to Avatar Kyoshi.
Mhm.
She like didn't like this warlord so much that like she broke Kyoshi Island off of the mainland
That sounds
using air. And while she was doing that, the guy was so proud that he wouldn't back down from her and like was like on a crumbling cliff and refused to move, so he fell to his death.
That's so stupid. I feel like Avatar is like kind of like One Piece, where you think people are dead, and then 5 seconds later they're like,
No,
like
that
showing
guy,
they're still alive.
yeah, that guy died, and also Kyoshi was like a gangster.
Kyoshi was cool.
Like she killed people.
Oh, she's a little harsh.
Yeah, like that's what gangsters do.
Ooh, okay. But how are you? What are your? Do you have a gym goal, like me?
To get as grotesquely strong as I possibly can, so that I can do a real life cosplay of General Garage Door.
Wait, you should cosplay Garage Door. That'd be so. We have the green body paint.
Everyone would be like, "Are you Shrek?" Shrek wearing armor?
It's a completely different color. It's more olive.
Oh,
actually.
yeah. I'm sure everyone at the con would understand that.
Speaking about cosplays and Avatar, my dream cosplay for Robert, if you've seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, they go to the Fire Nation and there's a play, and the play's like of them, like, you know, it's supposed to be propaganda against Avatar.
Yeah, yeah.
And Toph, one of the characters,
Toph. We always call her that.
I always do. She's like blind, and how does her power even work?
So
she's like an earthbender. She feels vibrations, right?
Yeah, she feels vibrations of people standing on the ground, so she's able to see things around her.
Yeah.
Kind of.
And she's just a little girl. And the Fire Nation doesn't know that, and they just hear about how jacked she is. So they had this like huge grown man wearing a wig, and they're like, I detect movement by sonar radar. And then he's just like, ah! He's just yelling.
Yeah. She screams to detect them because they don't know how she actually does it.
And I want Robert to dress up as that version of Toph.
Like toffee, just without the E
why
part.
Why don't I say Toph?
No one knows.
Topher Grace.
No one has ever even remotely said that
know.
closely.
I don't know, but I think that would be such a good cosplay for Robert. And now you're growing your hair out, so even better.
I mean, her hair is very short, so
yeah. But your hair was shorter before.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
But yeah, that's my goal. What's
you
your
want
goal?
The garage door?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to do a pull up.
Oh, one pull up.
One. That's all I need.
Big, like chin over bar, or like.
I will take for not immediately falling when I'm let go. Like as is now, if I'm holding onto a bar and I'm not saying anything, I'll fall.
True.
I am so weak. It's frustrating.
Yeah, yeah.
My legs are strong though. We did leg day, and my legs are.
There you go. Let us
like
know
a donkey.
how much you can leg press in the comments.
No, I want to be the best.
And also how many pull-ups you can do.
Don't tell me. I want to be the only one.
Okay.
What have you been up to?
I have not been up to much. Honestly, I'm kind of in a waiting situation. I was playing a bit of Terraria. Jesus, I was watching Terraria streams, but no, I was playing a bit of Valheim. Heavily modded Valheim.
That's not for his little video series. That's just for fun.
No, it was fun. I don't know, kind of wasn't playing it as much as I anticipated, but I was playing it a bit. Playing a bit of a different MMO to try it out. It's okay at best.
I think it's gonna get a scathing review in his little 100-hour or worth it series.
No, I do think it does get better, but the thing is, I already know the end game isn't very good, so the fact that the early game's also not super good is not good.
I'm hearing it's not worth 100 hours.
It already has,
we'll have to watch the video to find out.
It already has mixed reviews on Steam, so it's not like I was going into this with high hopes. But
BG3 win.
It is one of the best looking games I've ever played, though, so it has that going.
That's cool.
I was playing that, and honestly, I'm really excited for tomorrow because
I thought tomorrow's a game. Can you tell my face? I was like, "What's tomorrow?"
No, yeah.
Because tomorrow's our Friday, because I requested off Friday, and he just doesn't have work.
True. So tomorrow is going to be the stream for Path of Exile 2's first large update. All the previous updates were just fixes for the launch of the game. This is going to be update 0.2.
Is the game actually launched?
No.
Okay.
That's why I said, yeah, it's update 0.2. Whenever it gets to 1.0, it'll be the actual update.
But you guys can keep playing?
Or it'll be the actual launch. What do you mean?
But you're able to play right now, right?
Yeah, it's an early access.
So weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah. So it's going to be a big update. They're adding a new class, potentially like a new little section of the game, bunch of new stuff and new fixes and changes. So that'll be pretty exciting. So that is going to be, it's just the announcement tomorrow. The actual update, unfortunately, doesn't happen for another week.
Okay. So you're not going to play all this weekend?
No, I won't be playing. Well, I might play it just for fun, but it's not going to be
for that.
Yeah. For the update.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I have been playing a little bit here and there, but that is all.
Yeah, and partly also the gym thing, because now we have a lot less free time during the week.
We do have practically none, especially doing the podcast.
Especially streaming.
Something that I saw, there was a lot of pretty good posts this week, a lot of good memes, but nothing really of value that I wanted to make everyone aware of.
Wow.
Not like they're, they have no value. They're funny. I'm not going to tell you a picture of a meme though, because it just probably doesn't translate. I love
describing memes and then being like, I wish I didn't say that.
Yeah, but we will be going over this soon. We will be going over this in a minute, but let everyone, spoiler alert, the demonic digger is no more.
There's still a version of it.
There's a version of it.
Don't spoil it.
It's not called demonic digger,
and
it also doesn't have the same effect as it once did, because like I raised a concern for, a lot of other people did as well.
It's spelled to Leaguesy. They even use the word Leaguesy in their blog about it.
Yes. On top of that, a lot of people are, it's annoying because obviously people in general, especially when making an argument for one side or the other, can be very reductive. And so a lot of people are saying that it was strictly nerfed because technically if you were doing herb runs, you could get like as much XP in 10 minutes as you could doing a tree run. And they're all like, oh, the herb economy, the tree economy, the seed economy. As like I mentioned last time, that wasn't even in my argument.
I think that's actually a fair argument though.
I think it's an okay argument, but there was many, that's why I said it was a little bit reductive. There's many reasons for it to not move forward. And kind of based around that, there was a lot of really interesting posts.
Okay.
The one that I thought was the most interesting, that got arguably, or not arguably, it just got one of the highest posts in a long time, was made by Jade Mallow.
Okay.
Maybe they like marshmallows, green marshmallows. Who knows?
Jade loves marshmallows.
Yes. So Jade made a point that, and this is something we've talked about in the past as well. So we're not super new to this, but they're saying that optimizing the fun out of a game by removing pain points and the death of gathering skills. That's the name of the post.
Okay.
So they're saying generally that a lot of items and changes that have come into the game over the last few years have been to alleviate quote unquote pain points and make certain tedious or slow things simpler or faster. This is dangerous, however, and taking this too far, ending up with a much worse problem than you had originally. And I can see the community starting to apply pressure in a way that will be detrimental long term, and they want to discuss it.
Okay.
And it's funny because we've talked about this before, where it's like a lot of people want things to be easier, whatever it is.
Even I want stuff to be easier sometimes.
Yeah, whatever it is, be it like this particular mining thing or, whatever, like obviously the digger situation we have now. Everyone wants things to be easier, but we have talked about this in the past where there has to be friction in games for them to be fun. You think you want things to be easier, but when things are easier, they don't make the game better.
I think completing the difficult stuff is what makes it fun, really.
I don't know what it is, but it's definitely...
That's why I love a task.
It's definitely not for the good of the game that things get easier all the time. There are things that are just like incredibly monotonous and when they clearly do not add to the game or to the experience or actively take away from those things, that's different. But
Rune
just
crafting
because,
before Guardians of the Rift.
well, I mean, that there's even an argument for that. Like,
Yeah.
it's and they do, this actually is an incredibly long post. Here, I'll show you like
Oh, just read me the highlights.
an
That's very
incredibly
long.
long post. But I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but just kind of they go through in detail and for a few different skills on how things should be more what's it called, more of like an ecosystem,
Mm-hmm.
how like skills feed into other skills and stuff like that, and how making things easier takes away from other things like the processes and stuff like that. I'm not
Okay.
going to go into the whole thing. I would recommend reading it. It is about a 20-minute read.
It's very comprehensive. I
it,
see links.
it is a very long read, and it talks about like how some solutions seem like solutions, but in general for the health of the game, they're not. So
Do you say you mostly agree with them?
yeah, I think they bring up some really, really good points. And honestly,
I want to read it.
they even bring up things like daily scape. So these are things that apply to like pretty much every single player. So
Okay.
if you are looking for a read interesting conversation, it has over 3,500 upvotes as of now and over 500 comments, including Mod Rice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Mod Rice even says that they thought it was an incredible write-up, and they do expand on one of the following things that I thought was kind of interesting. They said that expanding on the following because I think it's an interesting point of discussion. So seeds are the answer to preventing drops from eliminating gathering skills entirely. Instead of adding herbs directly to boss drop tables, you can instead add the seeds.
Okay.
So that was a point that
The original poster.
yeah, Mod Rice picked up on. They said that they think herbs are actually originally just that. Rather than dropping skill supplies such as ores or wood, you could drop herbs, which were a combat exclusive rewards that didn't devalue skilling. I like to think what farming actually achieved was adding gameplay variety. You now had to spend time both PVMing and skilling to maximize the value of the drops. Of course, you could always hand off the seeds to the GE to sacrifice some of that value for time, but that still creates a variety in the game on a macro level. If nobody farmed, the value of seeds would plummet and the value of herbs would skyrocket, encouraging more people to farm. It's something I'd really like us to do more in the future, and we're giving it a go in the Yama drop table with things like the rune crafting catalyst and the worms. As always, it's part of the iterative strategy, testing the waters as you go on. So that was like kind of interesting and in the thought process, and I generally do agree. I think one of the worst additions to the game is the amount of supplies.
Like drops?
Not supplies as in like you staying there longer, but supplies as in like skilling supplies.
Well, like
from
planks
bosses.
and things?
Yeah.
I like them because I boss, so.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone like
so I never have to do plank make.
Like everyone jokes about this, but like the best way to get like a lot of
pure essence swords,
pure essence or like stuff for black or like for smithing is everyone's like, oh, just wait and go to Zulrah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Like she drops like stacks of like 300 coal and stuff like that. Like you can, it's so much faster to just kill 100 Zulrah than it is to mine for that much coal.
That's true.
So it's like, I honestly think like drops like that are an incredibly big problem in the game. But I mean, it's like almost impossible to like go backwards.
Yeah, I don't think you can go backwards because now if you took it away and everyone had to go back to skilling when they could have been having fun PVMing, like that sucks.
yeah, it's tough because it's kind of like the shadow problem they also have right now. It's like you don't want to do what you probably know you should do because people are going to get mad. But it's just like the blowpipe problem. It's like you don't have to do it, but you know your game will be worse if you don't. So it's like, I don't know, they put themselves in this weird place.
They kind of mention the shadow, not a lot, but they do a little bit.
Yeah, the fact that they haven't nerfed it in this is probably one of the biggest slip ups in my opinion, because this was such a good opportunity.
I still selfishly like where the shadow's at, for selfish reasons, because I have one.
We'll talk about how silly their change is.
Okay. Well, into updates then?
Yeah, we can get into the updates.
We're actually not going to talk about that yet. We're first going to talk about 16-bit audio. Completely opposite of what we were saying.
Completely different.
Yeah. So from Sea Shanty 2 to the dreaded Armadillo Crossbow Special Attack Jump Scare.
You say sea shanty? Where are you from?
Sea Shanty.
Like Ashanti? Ashante? Like
Ashante, the French singer.
What were you going for?
I thought I said it weird, but I was like, I'm just going to keep going.
From sea shanty.
That was like a orangutan mistake.
Yeah.
OSRS's audio is truly iconic. That's why the audio team has been hard at work behind the scenes to elevate your listening experience beyond anything you've heard before. This was all with the audio team led by, or part of Mod Surma to update us. Currently, all the audio in OS is played back at 8-bit. So 8-bit is, it produces a layer of white noise or a hissing sound that accompanies all the sounds of music in the game. I've never noticed this in my life before, but they went ahead and cleared it up. So everything is going to be changed from 8-bit to 16-bit. It sounds a lot cleaner. I'm going to mute us for a second and just play this sound clip, and then I'll edit it down so it's shorter.
Sure.
1 sec. So that's 8-bit. And that's 16-bit. But yeah, we went and like listened to it. They have a few different examples. It sounds so much nicer. It sounds like crisp.
Yeah. It's
like a McDonald's Sprite.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is really nice.
I'd never in my life noticed that, but it was funny as I was reading it, they said the white noise, and I pictured like whenever, you know, the wind's whistling, and it's like it's kind of crunchy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like how it sounds.
I think it's difficult to tell because usually if you have this sound on, it's not the only thing that's happening. Usually you're also listening to music and stuff like that at the same time, whether it's in-game or not. It's just hard to hear a layer of white noise.
Well, it's also just hard if it's all you hear. Like, you're not going to notice it if you've like become conditioned to hearing it.
Yeah, for sure.
I do wonder if they're going to make it optional though, because I'm sure some people like the 8-bit. But yeah, that's a little update that we're getting. They're working on this update, going through lots of testing to ensure the conversion to 16-bit has gone smoothly. Once the new audio is live, if you happen to hear anything unusual, of course, you could report it as a bug.
Yeah. Also,
random cool little update.
At the bottom of every blog, they have all the mods that were in association to the blog or to the update. And there's
I don't recognize some of these names.
There's mod Genghis. Do you think their name is pronounced Genghis or Jengis?
Jengis, 100%.
For anyone that doesn't know, apparently the way Genghis Khan's name was actually pronounced is Jengis.
I remember that reminds me of like hearing a story. I don't know if this is accurate, but it's supposed to be like a conspiracy that this is so not relevant, that Jesus Christ was actually born in spring, not Christmas. And I told my dad about how I read that and he got upset.
Oh.
As a Christian, I don't know why that like upset him. I was like, I just thought it was like kind of cool, but
and that's related to Genghis Khan because he was Jesus.
He was Jesus
Khan.
Yeah, there we go. I was gonna try to combine the first name, and I can't do that.
Genghis Khan.
There we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's it for that blog. Though we can move on to the next one.
Well, if our blasphemy wasn't enough, we'll continue talking about the demon boss. That is the Delve boss.
Yeah. What do they call him? Like keeper of contracts or something? Probably not.
Yeah, definitely not. But he is.
He's a demon.
This is the Delve boss. So this is not Yama.
Oh, why did I think it was Yama? I think we literally said that in the whatever thing too. Okay, the fact that they keep telling us the Delve and the Yama back and forth.
Yeah,
it's really confusing me who's who.
It also doesn't help that they're both fairly demonic.
And they're both red.
Yes, so they are similar, but we are talking about the Delve boss, the creature that is not actually in.
I think it's also demonic though.
It is also demonic, but one looks much more insecty and also is not going to be in any content that's coming up anytime soon.
Yeah, the Delve one's the incest one.
What?
Insect.
All right. So we're going to move on with the changes. Honestly, there's really not many changes. This is just a poll question for the Avernic Treads. So should we add the Avernic Treads, a pair of upgradable boots, kind of like how we talked about before, where you can donate your Serb boots to them to upgrade them?
They did say that in one of their past blogs, they messed up. So they're keeping the base drop melee strength at 4. I guess before, like, I think that we accidentally said it was more. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a poll question. They're not really changing that because they think it's in a good place. Next up is the Eye of Ayak. There's a couple changes on this one. So people were concerned about the eye's range of 6. To be clear, in long range you will have a range of 8. So you're not going to be like super far from
the
everything.
long range mode is 8, so it's not too bad.
We've also lowered the special attack cost to 50% energy, giving you a bit more bang for your buck when facing down your enemy. They also wanted to clarify a couple of points that they saw come up in discussions. So the special attack will not drain an NPC past 0 mage defense, and NPCs will not regenerate that drain. As the eye is classified as a powered weapon like the trident, it will not be usable in PvP. Poll question number 2, do we want to add the Eye of Ayak?
Yes, with the attack speed of 3.
Yes.
The next one, the Confliction Gauntlets. Also, but I'm going to spoil this, all of these passed.
Is the poll done?
I'm pretty...
I thought the blog just came out. I think you're thinking the Yama one. Girl, she almost fell off her bed.
Was it the Yama one that passed?
I think the Yama one's done.
Oh, okay. Then it was the Yama one.
Well, you read this. I'm going to double check because now I'm concerned.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, I think they all passed.
This is what I mean. We're getting these blogs confused because they keep doing them every other week, switching, and I don't know what's what.
Well, because in the back of my head, I was reading the Confliction Gauntlets and I was like, I don't know how these passed.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, I could see them passing, but I feel like it'd be by a slim. Oh, it was the Yama ones that passed.
Yeah.
And what I was thinking about is the surge potions barely passed.
The Yama everything passed, by the way.
Yeah,
I just went and checked that.
The Yama everything passed, and the surge potions barely passed. I was convinced they wouldn't, because those are the ones that, for anyone that didn't remember, the surge potions gave you 25% additional spec.
That's so good. That's crazy.
But there was additional talks about that for just as an aside. They did say that they could make some changes for like raids. So because people were concerned, you would just wait 10 minutes in between bosses for
so you could have more.
So that you could just make sure to have a brew of adrenaline, which is, the 25% spec every boss fight. But they're changing it so that hopefully you won't have to wait as long if you do plan on using that strategy.
Cool. For all the Yama rewards.
Back on the Confliction Gauntlet, though, this is the gauntlet that increases your accuracy every time you miss against an enemy, but you have to be using the same weapon, the same attack, the same everything against the same enemy for it to actually work. So if you miss, then your chance to go and attack is pretty much doubled. So this is not going to be the same as it once was. It is getting nerfed a little bit. This is specifically to combat the shadow, but unfortunately kind of does other things as well. They
do say on here though that this reward and project as a whole does not have the scope to address specific shadow issues, so they'll be maybe discussing that another time. I personally don't mind if they never discuss it.
It's funny because they say it doesn't have the scope to address specific shadow issues. You could just nerf the shadow, or you could just make this passive not work with the shadow.
I was thinking that.
Wouldn't that have been so much better than what they did?
But then no one... Okay. I don't know. Just read it first.
Okay. So the passive used to just read, like I said, anything that you miss upon, you'll have a doubling effect in your accuracy the next time. This has been changed. So now it reads, when a magic attack misses, your next magic attack within 4 tick rolls accuracy twice. 4 ticks. This means that you have to have 4 ticks to use the effect, with no cooldown period in between uses, making you miss effects on other items. It's worth noting that this has to be against the same target and using the same spell or magic weapon like I mentioned before. This same effect applies for a PvP target.
How many ticks is a shadow?
5.
So that doesn't work on shadow.
Yeah. As far as
you just said it shouldn't, but does. Okay.
Wait, this is the kicker. How many ticks do you think the standard spell book uses?
Is it 5?
I think it is 5.
That would be pretty funny.
So
maybe they make that 1 tick faster.
I don't know, brother.
If it works how they intend, I'm okay with that because we're still getting the bonus. We're just not getting the passive.
Yeah.
What do you want me to search, like Earth Blast?
Look up standard spell book.
I'm just going to look up Earth Blast.
Earth Blast OSRS. Let's see how many ticks Earth Blast is.
5.
5. Oh, no.
So will they buff that?
The new quote unquote best in slot mage gloves do not work with any standard spells. Not a single one.
I think we'll still get these, but I think they're going to change it again or change spells.
Everyone's like, oh, great. This totally bridges the gap. It's like, oh, actually, these just work with the wand we're introducing, and that's it.
That's really funny that they're the same speed as the shadow.
Yeah.
That's goofy. Why doesn't it say the shadow's speed on the wiki?
It does. It's right there.
5.
Yeah.
Dang.
So
we'll see what happens there.
A lot of people are like, did you just like do this on accident, or did you not want us to use?
They nerfed the water bolts.
They nerfed the nightmare staff.
That's super funny. It's supposed to just be the shadow.
Yeah, you're literally only gonna be using like the saying. I think is also 5, right?
No, thing is faster than shadow. Thing with ST.
The thing you'd use these gloves with, the saying.
Yeah, it's faster than shadow.
Is it? It's 4?
Yeah, because people bring it to Nilo's.
Really? I mean, that would be cool. Snag OSRS.
You would still showed up. I don't care.
That's hilarious. Oh, it is 4. Okay.
Yeah, because it's faster.
It'll apply to the saying, the snag.
The snag.
The new wand, and that's. I mean, I don't know about the other charged weapons. It might also work with other charged weapons.
I get what they were trying to do, because what they were trying to do is make it not work for the shadow without straight up saying it doesn't work for the shadow.
Yeah.
But they forgot how many other things are the same.
Why is it so hard to just say does not work with shadow?
Because then,
how hard is that?
I get it that they don't want to like limit it, because like in the future, you know.
Dude, no. How hard is it just to make the passive say no shadows?
That's pretty funny. I like that.
Come on, dude. So dumb.
Last thing on here, moving on, is the Demon Spade. So this is the Demonic Digger. They've renamed it. We originally pitched this as being able to process farming, harvesting actions instantly. However, following both your feedback and another review pass, it's clear this might not be the healthiest direction for farming skill long term. We have concerns that this may disrupt the skill's balance by making certain crops such as snapegrass and watermelon more efficient for XP than trees.
Yeah, I was like, that's such a lame reason to put.
No, I think that's so weird. Like, I get that.
Because people are like, yeah, it'll be 88, or it would be like, you know, whatever, like 100,000 experience, 88,000 experience every however many minutes, you know, 80 minutes, I think it is.
No, but if you have Chronos, it's super quick.
I mean, yeah, sure. But some people are like, did the math and they're like, yeah, well, just so you know, technically this means that if you did every single seed run, every single allotment run on cooldown with this spade, you'd get 1.5 million XP per day in farming, which is like, all right, that's cool, but also like kind of like, who cares? I don't know. This wasn't definitely near the top of my concerns for this.
It wasn't, but now it is. So I don't mind they changed it.
I mean, it definitely adds to me not wanting it, but it's like,
it wasn't the first thing you thought of.
Yeah, definitely not the first thing I thought of.
As a result of this, we'll be changing it from instant harvesting to double harvesting speed, aka the thing I suggested.
Yeah.
So it still offers a big upgrade over the regular spade without feeling too leaguesy or disrupting long-standing gameplay. I like that they said leaguesy. Here's some clarity on a couple of points we saw from the feedback. So this item will be useful for farming-based harvesting actions that require a spade, including herbs, hops, and allotments, clearing dead plants and tree roots, using the Patchet Chambers. It'll be main hand equipable, so those of you wanting to add to your fashionscape, you have a cool little spade, I guess.
Yeah, that's the best part. That's the best change, honestly.
I'm actually really happy with the way that they changed that. I think it's a lot better. And now I like it a lot. And they copied my change. They didn't copy me. They probably copied me, though. Do you think they listened?
I mean, I think there's only really like 3 avenues of change.
No,
so.
Do you think that they listened last week and they were like, wow, Michelle, you have such a big brain.
Yeah.
And a big heart.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's honestly a better change. It's funny, I saw so many posts, and it sucks that this is real, but I saw so many posts where they're like, I don't give a damn about your guys' XP rates. Give me instant harvesting. And I'm like, yeah, man. I
just thought instant harvesting was too good, which I thought was funny because Wraith, who's usually like critical stuff, he was actually okay with it. He didn't care. I was like, I thought you would have cared. I'm surprised I cared, to be honest.
I feel
but
like
the shadow, I'm like, keep it as is.
Maybe Wraith only cares about PVM stuff.
That's true. Is that true, Wraith?
I mean, that would affect chambers.
Yeah, it would. The boot should be instant. The double at Buchu, though, that will also be nice. I might bring my spade.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, so rest in peace.
One more thing. I posted a short the other day. So, like, I've been doing chambers with Wraith, and he DC'd. I didn't realize he DC'd, and I was joking. And I was just like, oh, sit noob. Like, guess who never learned how to raid? Like, joking. And I was like, oh, he DC'd. And then he came back. And someone rates Ride or Die in the comments was like, you're the noob. You're using Runelight. And then they commented again to tell me that I'm starting to look like a Raxer.
True.
And
Factual.
I don't. What about me started to look? What's the? Am I growing late?
All of it, dude.
I did think it was like funny though, because the reason I was like, I'm gonna grind Scariest is because one time someone told me I look like a rat, and I was like, is this the sign I'm gonna do a spider arc, like a little Raxer pet?
Probably not, but
Probably
maybe.
not, because it's a lot more effort than Scariest.
Yes, it is. You can't just AFK all of it.
I know people like were commenting whenever I got the Scariest, and they're like, if you'd done a Raxer instead, you would have made billions. And I was like, I would not have been able to do 15,000 without losing my mind. Scariest is so mindless.
And they would take a lot longer too.
It would take so much longer. Yeah, it's completely different.
Yeah.
Anyway.
As an aside, before I forget, a quick thing about the Yama changes, or the Yama.
The Delve one that we just did?
No.
Oh, actual Yama.
Actual Yama. So before I forget, I did see a post that I thought was really interesting, and it was people trying to do estimations on what they think the new best in slot overall would be with the new Oath Plate armor, or whatever it ends up being named.
What do you mean the new best in slot would be with them?
Because that gear is good and it's on par with Torva. It rivals it, and as a matter of fact, it actually beats it in a lot of places.
I don't know why, but the way you just said that was so funny. Like, and you know what? A matter of fact.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So some people
enjoyed that.
The post I saw was saying that full Oath Plate, straight up, with specifically the Bellator ring, not the Ultor ring.
Still don't have that.
I haven't done the math here, and some people were saying that not all of his calculations were right when calculating with mismatched gear. For instance, different like Torva options with the Oath Plate options.
Yeah, mix match.
But based on the original posters posting, they said that around 90% of like all endgame content, you will do more DPS with the Oath Plate and the Bellator ring versus Torva with the Ultor.
Cool, because I don't own any of this. So that means I'll hold on Torva. Like I even had the money to buy it anyway.
This was all calculated with a scythe as well.
I have a scythe. Perfect.
Yeah. There were other like things, but it was essentially saying playing as optimally as you could with the scythe. The Oath Plate is better than most places. A lot of people were rivaling their calculations, saying that they think that Torva helmet with 2-piece Oath Plate would be better.
That's interesting.
But and that's with the Ultor, but or with the Bellator rather. So I think it'll be interesting to see what ends up actually being better. But I just thought it was cool to see people already trying to do calculations for that.
That's fun. That's cool. It's definitely going to be over a bill when it first drops in that case.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't think so previously, but after hearing that, it is for sure.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely, the first pieces might even sell for like close to max. So
the first everything is crazy, especially like best in slot in game.
Yeah, especially best in slot, and the fact that cash is just easier to get nowadays. So I definitely figure it'll be, really expensive. That being said, I still maintain that I think it'll decrease in value quicker than Torva has.
Because you're able to create it too.
Because there are 2 ways to get it.
Yeah, but we'll have to see how common that is.
Yeah, that's definitely a time thing.
I'm assuming it's going to be like super tedious.
Yeah, it'll be years before we probably see that actually pan out. But that was just interesting. I thought I'd bring that up before we get into the final stuff for the day.
Yeah, so poll 83, quality of life, aka the best one this week.
So jumping right into the poll, we have, this is honestly just a bunch of random stuff, but I actually don't even remember when we did these quality of life changes.
I remember a couple, but not all of them. Some of them I was like, I think there was a couple that they did not poll.
Most of them I straight up don't remember.
Well, this first one they definitely polled.
this is slaying crabs. So
Yeah.
obviously everyone is familiar, or at least should be familiar with crabs, the best low effort training method.
I wasn't. I didn't find out until I was way past them because I just didn't even notice them.
There is no getting past them. That's the best part.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, I didn't really notice them until, like,
So you
I
had
was
full
already bossing.
99s.
No. You know what I mean? Don't be a butt.
No, I'm just saying. I don't want you to think. I don't want anyone out there to think if they're 92 all skills that this is outside of your reach. You are still a noob.
But people will AFK doing these really early on, and I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I actually love that this is going to be a Slayer task, because it's introducing people to them.
Yes. So this is the best low effort combat training method in the game.
And you can AFK.
And you can AFK for up to 10 minutes, and then you have to reset just like every other combat method. So this is crabs, for anyone that doesn't know. There are 5 different kinds of crabs, although obviously there are only a couple that people primarily do. But you can now get them as a Slayer task. They come from, no one knows how to say this one, but Mashna, Vanica, and Sheldar. Only those 3.
It is early level.
Yeah, it is early level stuff. So most people won't even be getting these unless you are early level, probably going to either Sheldar or Vanica. But yeah, so you
because
can,
no one knows how to say the other one's name.
yeah, you can do this. Also, you can get these tasks like from a training partner, like a Slayer training partner. If you want to, you can do them together or whatever. All those same rules apply. But for anyone that doesn't know, all the different crabs is ammonite crabs. This is Fossil Island. Frost crabs, which
they just introduced those right now, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I've
never in my life.
I was like, I never heard of frost crabs, because you can find them amongst the ruins of Osto-Ayak.
I'm assuming that's in Varlamore somewhere.
Yoik. Yeah, somewhere in Varlamore probably. Also, rock crabs. I said clabs. Rock crabs, which can either be found, a lot of people don't know this, near Mount Quigamortum or Waterbirth Island. Then we also have sand crabs, the most famous. This is one found on Isle of Souls, which a lot of people don't go to. It's a great place. Crab Claw Isle, which Michelle didn't know existed until like this year. And then also south of the OSRS binary. And lastly, swamp crabs, which are near Sleep.
Which one's on Fossil Island?
The one on Fossil Island is ammonite crabs.
Oh, true. Okay, yeah, because they're fossils.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
I would personally recommend sand crabs. They're my favorite. The ones on Isle of Souls are usually really unpopulated. That being said, I just train at the one south of Hosidius like everyone else.
The frost crabs sound like they'd look cool.
They do sound like they look cool.
That's another thing. By the way, I thought everyone trained this at Fossil Island.
You can, except there's not as many spots. So
I think I tried to on like an iron at one point, and I was like, "This sucks."
Yeah, there's the ammonite crabs on Fossil Island have way more health, so they take longer to kill, which can be nice. But there are just way less spots, so they're way more competitive. Unfortunate. Also, you can try Crab Claw Isle, because not a lot of people know it even exists. It costs some cash to get there, but it's really not that much.
Next quality of life is the Slayer Cape perk at Konar. So there's been a bit of a tune-up for the Slayer Cape. Now when his perk is triggered at Konar, it will reassign the task within the same area by considering the exact location of your current assignment.
It's nice. Previously, it would just be like, oh, have you done the trolls? Well, here's another troll one in a completely different area. Get screwed.
I guess it sucks if like maybe you like hated that location, but you like the task, but
yeah,
this makes way more sense.
That's
though.
Like you're like, all right, cool. I got Dagonoths on what's it called? Lighthouse.
Oh yeah.
No, because Lighthouse you can kill them really fast.
So good.
And then it's like you redo it and you get the ones on Waterbirth and it just
then
sucks.
you redo it and get Dagonoth Kings.
Yeah.
I also think that's good because the Slayer Cape perk, if you guys didn't know, it's actually
sucks.
It's a 1 out of 1 million chance of it triggering.
What?
I think that's right. When the first time I ever used my Slayer Cape after 99, it worked. So I was like, I thought it worked for every task.
No.
I swear to God, I don't know if it's ever worked since then.
It's not a very high chance.
I don't know if it's ever triggered since then. I feel like it's 100 or something.
Yeah, I think it is 1 in 100.
Yeah. every time that I like want a task and I bring it, I don't think it's triggered since that first time.
Yeah, it's not very
Because
good.
whenever I first got it, I was like, cool, it works every time. It doesn't.
I think it's not very good. Honestly, I think they should change it to be, because I mean,
at least one of 100,000.
Capes should be good, right? You know, not
Yeah.
like good, but they should be on the level.
Worth. Slayer's a slow grind too.
I think they should all kind of be on the level of thieving, where it's like it doesn't make you a god, but it does make it a lot easier. So I think crafting is too good, but they'll never change that. Either way, it should be
construction with the teleports everywhere.
Yeah, it should be good. So that being said, I always thought like maybe they should have it where you can, if you have it, because I mean, it's not like it's just a regular cape. It doesn't give you good stats or anything.
Yeah.
So I think to supplement that, it should just be a free permanent bracelet of slaughter or the other one.
Whoa, that's kind of crazy.
And you can like swap between them.
Yeah, that'd be kind of nuts.
I mean, like one, you're losing your cape slot, and two, it's, you know, because normally if you're wearing the bracelet, you're getting rid of your gloves.
Well, I don't know if you knew this, but with the bracelets and presumably the cape in this situation, it doesn't count it until the end of the KC. So there's actually a strategy to just put the bracelet slaughter on at the end of the KC. Oh. You only have to do it if the ticket dies.
I guess that would even I have only heard of people.
I'm always too lazy to do that.
Yeah, I was about to say I had only heard of people doing it. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
That being said, I think that even makes it more like in the like line of what I was saying is that like that's already a strategy employed. So it's like if you can just get rid of your cape, and I mean your gloves are just better than your cape almost always.
I like the idea more of kind of how the explorer's ring is right now, that you have a certain amount of times you could trigger this a day, like one a day.
Yeah.
Well, that take a while. You probably wouldn't want more than one.
The explorers kind of sucks. I hate the explorers.
The explorer's ring I use the most because I took it to Scurriest to High-Auk.
I think it's such a trash item.
Oh
but
gosh.
Yeah, anyways,
speaking of,
let us know what you think the Slayer cape should do, because I think it's not very strong.
Anyway, Explorer's Ring Alchemy, moving into our next point.
It's not good. You can't convince me otherwise.
I like it so much.
You have to do so much to unlock the elite
All you have to
version.
do is get your quest cape done. Like, what's the big deal? 5 years.
It's not even that. The Explorer Ring is part of the Lumbridge Elites.
Yeah, I know. And you have to get your quest cape to get access to
the Elite is the only good version of this because it gives you an actual decent amount of alks.
Yeah.
And it's still gated by per day. Like, it should be gated per, like, 8 hours or something, not per day. But, anyways, if you always thought it was annoying navigating through, like, 15 different menus in order to high alk something with the Explorer's Ring, now you can simply use the Explorer's Ring on something and it'll just high alk it just as usual.
Even if you were able to click it mid combat, because with Scurries I changed it with the map changing, whatever that plugin is called, so that I'll click function immediately and then I just have to click twice. I click that and then high alk. It takes you into a separate menu. So if you go to cast spells, you X out that menu, you have to do it all again.
Yeah.
So that's kind of annoying because I was doing like thralls, so I was actually having to cast spells a lot.
Yeah.
So this is really nice. And I don't use as much now that I'm done Scurrious stuff.
I did also get it backwards. You use an item on the ring, not the other way around. So
I feel like it'd probably work the other way too, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe. Either way.
Next up, farming contracts. We all know Guildmaster Jane loves a good chat. She is a chatty Kathy.
Yeah, she's
let me tell you.
A talkative Tammy.
So they've added a dialogue option that lets you grab another contract of the same tier instantly after finishing another one.
Exactly, like contracts for
Slayer.
Oh,
they changed that too.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say for construction.
Oh yeah.
Mahogany homes.
Yeah, so now it says take another contract, yes, no, or take another hard contract. I've done over 1,000 contracts having to go through that dialogue because I'm like, oh, this is really nice. Cool. I'm not going to do any more, but for everyone else, I actually have a farming contract video that I'm like the most proud of that video. You guys should go look. It's on our YouTube. Yeah.
And I mean, this is all quality of life stuff. So, I mean, the next thing is also really great quality of life.
So great.
Especially as someone that is just a chronic new account maker, this is really nice because I go to a lot of different fairy rings. So this fairy ring this fairy ring quality of life change allows you to just simply hover a fairy ring and it'll tell you the code.
Yeah, on the map now you can see it's there, but you can't see what it does or how to get there. It's so annoying.
Now when you mouse over any fairy ring you've unlocked on the world map, its code will pop up. So
that part's still annoying.
Yeah. But it is nice that it's an option now. So, because for instance, there's just places I don't go to super often. So, especially as a new account, you go there once and you never go back again. So, it's hard to remember.
I had the hardest time with the one in like the Jad area because I didn't know what to search. I didn't know how to spell any of it.
Yeah.
But now I just have like moral wreck. But before I'd be like, I'd just be typing all these things and nothing would be popping up. And I'm like, please.
Yeah. Also, the memory keeper for the teleports in game isn't very good.
Yeah, it could be bad. Next,
this is nice.
This is nice.
This is nice.
So tithe fard.
Tithe fard?
I thought I said fart.
Tithe fart.
Farm rewards.
If it's stinking it up at the tithe farm, you know
that's
why.
how you know Robert's there.
That doesn't make any sense because you're the one that said it.
But you're stinking it up. That's the joke.
No.
So the Tithe Farm shop has been upgraded to use the new shop interface, kind of like Forestry has. Can I be honest? I like how it looks less. Actually, I like the old interface. I think that this makes more sense, but I like the design of the old one more. I think it looks cute.
Okay, I gotta get her off, dude. She is.
Oh, is she going crazy?
She's going nuts.
Her belly was falling, so I was having to go like this to hold the soup.
Get out of here. She's like clawing me and like fucking biting me and shit.
Oh, okay. Plus, we've added a brand new seed pack reward available for purchase with Tithe points. This is not just any seed pack, it's equivalent to a tier 3 Farming Guild contract with a chance at a White Lily seed.
Yeah, this is really sick.
Yeah, now people, because I mean, before, what would you do? Just get like the herb box?
You would just get the herb box.
But isn't there a limit on how many you can get a day?
No, that is Nightmare Zone.
Okay.
That's 10 per day.
Yeah, the seed pack.
Or if there is, I don't know about it.
Seed pack's definitely more valuable than herb box. I'm just gonna say it.
Way more valuable than herb box.
Way more valuable.
Because an herb box only has 10 herbs or something like that, or 13
and
herbs.
you don't even know what it is. They could be really bad ones. Especially the tier 3 ones, because that's like the expert contracts or whatever, and those are actually like really good.
Yeah.
Or is it hard contract? It's been a second.
Yeah, they give you a lot of really valuable seeds, especially for this is a big Iron Man update.
And you can get spirit seeds, I'm assuming if it's like tier 3, which means you could take them to Guildmaster Jade and get more seed packs.
Yeah, it's like Inception.
It is.
There you
go. This one I do not think was a quality of life question.
I think so.
Was it? I don't remember it.
No, I think so.
But I like this one a lot.
Yeah, because like I just mentioned earlier, I am a chronic new accounter. So this is nice because...
Well, this is actually really big for you.
I mean, not really big, but it is definitely nice. So if you are newer to Gilnor, then no problem. And when you step onto Tutorial Island, you'll be asked for a beginner. If you are a beginner, returning, or an experienced player. So based on your answer, your settings will actually automatically change. If you're a beginner, you can enjoy the Fresh Start Guide interface with enhanced skill descriptions, which is pretty cool because they actually added a bunch of skill descriptions.
Yeah, we'll get to that later too.
If you're a returning player, your true or tried and true settings remain just as you left them. So you don't have to change anything. And if you are an experienced player, you can enjoy optimized defaults such as roof hiding for a clearer view, shift click to drop items, refined attack options, making X for darts and bolts is disabled, collection log new addition pop-up and notifications are enabled, enabled precise timing, PK skull prevention, which should just automatically be on.
That should be for beginners too.
Yeah, I was like, why isn't that just on?
No, the poor beginners getting anti-PK.
Yeah. Or no, not even anti, they're just getting PK or skull tricked.
Yeah, that's what I meant, sorry.
Yeah, auto-equip worn items from gravestones, which should also just be on by default.
Everything except for the roofs and the shift click should be on.
Yeah, rune picking behavior, drop item warning disabled.
Okay, well, that's
casting high alch on untradeable items warning is disabled. The minimum item value for high alchs is set to 0. And all plank make X confirmation options are disabled with accept aid is disabled.
Okay, wait some of these I don't like.
Why would accept aid be disabled?
I like accept aid because have you ever gone to Barbarian Assault and you're trying to add people to your team and they're just sitting there waiting and they don't have accept aid on, but they're not looking at the chat so they don't know and you can't do anything?
Why? Let us know why you would want accept aid disabled by default.
For the random people who have tried to do this for me to tell the other to Catherby.
Oh my god, dude, just press the no button.
Another one I don't like. So casting alchemy spells on untradeable items warning disabled. I think that warning should stay on. because I think I would accidentally do that. And the minimum item value needed for alchemy set to 0. I actually use that warning, so I don't like that.
I think
the other ones I really like.
I think a good option for like the teleport other thing, instead of just having it all rely on accept aid, it should maybe also be changed based on your like your friends,
like only your friends can do
your
it.
friends messaging settings.
The first time that ever happened, I was so confused. I was with the GE and a random person started doing it, and I was like, what is this screen? And I think I clicked accept because I didn't know what it was, and I was like, oh, it's exactly like it said. I am there now.
Yeah, some people think well, some people do it because they think you're a bot, and bots will like potentially automatically click it or something like that.
I thought I was a bot.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was just curious.
But yeah, I feel like if you have like your friends only messages on, then potentially just don't allow that unless they're a friend.
I wonder what else. I'm trying to think of more stuff that would affect this.
Yeah.
I'm thinking niche things like you're in a bingo, so people can't help you, and someone could come and like mess with you by like healing you and stuff.
Yeah.
People could cast Venge on you if you don't want it, if you're like trying CAs.
I guess.
Kind of niche things though. Maybe there is more stuff that we're not thinking of.
It does seem very, very random.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I
like the idea of them doing like the roofs off, the shift click to drop items. And because of the returning, it says that your settings remain just as you left them. I'm assuming that's the same for experience, because I always have to change my key remapping, because I don't do like the standard for 4, 5, 6. I always have to change that. So I like that a lot.
Yeah. So I think that would be cool. I think they should just probably keep the rune picking and also ammo picking behavior just the same for all of them. Like, I don't know when you would want your ammo to be picked up separately or runes to be picked up separately.
I mean, maybe some niche situation, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're just going to do the runes, you might as well do the ammo. Like, it's the same thing.
Why one and not the other?
Yeah. They don't even mention the ammo, actually.
Oh, they don't?
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's the same.
I guess so.
This one I thought was cool. Robert wasn't as impressed.
No.
So Shades of Mordor chests have gotten a makeover. Now they're gonna have clear top markings, so you can easily spot which loot stashes are which. This is especially handy for mobile players who cannot really see them well. As it was before, it's a tiny little square on the top, the front of the box. So you have to like move your camera around. And for some reason, one's burgundy and one's red, which are both just red. And I always had a hard time with that. So I actually really like these because now they have different symbols to differentiate them.
Yeah, it's just good quality of life stuff for seeing impaired.
Yeah, me.
Also, we have additional prayer tooltips. So they talked about changing this a little while ago, and makes it so that whenever you hover over a prayer, it'll actually tell you how many points drained per second.
I like that so much because there's like a couple more CAs I have to do, like the rocking around the croc, like doing Zabak with all the settings on without losing prayer points.
Yeah.
And this would be very handy to know if I could actually like protect from anything. I'm not good at prayer flicking, but I think it would help me.
Yeah, it's nice. All right, and randomly cutting in here, it is the next day.
I didn't realize that we were really close to being done with that section, but Robert said he has something to say before we get back into it.
Yeah, I have something important to say for anyone that might be noticing I'm wearing a different shirt today.
I was gonna check.
Yes, I am wearing a different shirt, and I'll tell you why.
How many of you guys are unfollowing the podcast right now?
It is a really good reason.
They're leaving in droves.
It's because I was wearing the old shirt, but then I was absolutely drenched by the amount of knowledge that came out of the Path of Exile stream. Drenched by, I'll let you guess.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'll just let you guys
Water?
guess. I was absolutely covered because that was it was amazing. I'd recommend checking it out if you play Path of Exile.
Okay. So that happened.
Yeah, but anyways, that's what I thought was pretty cool.
That was pretty good. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it was honestly great. It's a great game.
And it made you sweat so profusely you can't wear that shirt.
Yeah, we'll say that's what it was.
Oh my god.
That's what I'm saying. We're agreeing. Just like similarly, what also got me really going was the final thing on this list that we were going to be talking about, which is the skill guide summaries. We kind of alluded to this earlier.
We did. So they improved our skill guides with a brand new tab for each skill. The summaries break down what each skill does and the benefits of leveling them up. For example, like, why is it going to say hard?
Yeah. Dude, what is wrong with you?
Attack.
These hard battle veterans. Is that how you read battle hardened veterans? You read it the other way around?
I think I did.
These veterans that are just so hard and in battle.
I'm not even gonna read that. Anyway, so like attack and strength, that's something that I didn't know for a really long time playing, like what their purpose was, that they were even different.
Yeah.
So I would only train one. So it tells you like what everything's for, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, some people were saying, or like, well, they were asking, because for anyone that doesn't know, Alien Food as well as Mad Season Show are two people that like kind of made series recently playing RuneScape for the first time, and they ran into quite a few of the things on this list, just not knowing what they are. And one of the things that like was kind of funny is Mad Season. I based on comments, I actually haven't watched the show. That being said, Mad Season does make amazing WoW content, so I imagine the RuneScape content is amazing as well. But they just had a ton of attack levels.
Oh, I was the same way whenever I started. I was like, I'm just gonna train my strength because that's probably the best.
Yeah. So
I didn't know.
Yeah, they didn't know, and there was nowhere to really find out unless you went to the wiki, obviously, which I think just in general they didn't want to do.
Do you think that triggered this?
The mods said specifically that they did watch Alien Foods.
Oh, that's funny.
And it didn't really inspire them. Like they already had this on their radar, but
they were working on like more noob things.
Yeah, it just made them kind of more aware of like people running into these issues.
Yeah, people shouldn't have to use the Wikipedia to know how to play the game.
Yeah, and it's also not intuitive that there's 3 different types of melee, the only 3 different types of any combat style, and they all do something different.
Weird. It's so weird. Yeah. They would never do that again.
Like it would make sense if there was like 3 different range, but there's not. There's only 3 different melees, so it's not very intuitive.
It's really strange. That's it for the quality of life, though. We do have an update for player support. So back in December, we shared a survey, Help Shape the Future, to better understand what areas of our support offering you want to see improved. 89% of people say that they would value receiving confirmation when your cheating reports lead to action. So now, whenever you tattle on people and their account gets deleted, they're going to let you know. Yeah. They're going to let a bunch of you tattletales know.
I'm not the biggest fan of this because specifically they will only tell you whenever someone is reported successfully for botting, aka macroing specifically.
Yeah.
Apparently,
I don't think I've ever reported them for botting.
I
just report people for hateful conduct.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're one of those people that just stumbles upon like 35 bots like all thieving at the same time, then I guess you can go through and report all them.
So oblivious. I just wouldn't even notice.
They did say that, or they did confirm separately that if you do like somehow get like 35 people banned or something like that, then they won't give you 35 messages. It'll just be one, just letting you know
Listing. Does it list them?
No, it'll just say that whatever you did had an effect.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
They are going to work more on this later. So they actually say that next month they're going to have a full player support improvements roadmap. So we have that to look forward to.
Yeah, I don't know why they limited it to, I'm guessing it was more than an amount of work in order to implement it otherwise, because
well, they said that this was just done ahead of schedule, and instead of waiting, they're like, whatever, let's release it.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think they also use this as an excuse to tease this roadmap that we didn't know about.
Sure. But yeah, so it's just macroing only. I think this is cool. I definitely think they should have just rolled it out for the whole thing, obviously.
You think they should have waited?
Yeah, I think they should have waited.
Okay.
Because it's not like it matters. And so it's like, because like us, like we've never reported anyone for macroing, so like it doesn't matter to us.
I feel like it should just tell you for everything.
Yeah, it should just.
Unless we're misunderstanding, and that was an example. I don't know.
No, they said moving forward, it'll only do it for macroing.
When you're macroing and botting reports, yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
And so they will send you an inbox message saying if that you were successful in your report and there was action taken. I don't think it'll tell you what type of action, but this is cool. This is cool, and they also do this in League of Legends, where I really like it when that happens as well.
Your tattling pays off.
Yeah, because like, you know, I report people like pretty much every other game in League of Legends, so it's not uncommon that I'll load up the client and it'll just be like, wow, thanks for your recent feedback. This person has been like permanently banned or something like that.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so it'll just tell you similarly.
They should show up for everything, because I report people too.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah.
Also kind of cool because I remember I complained about this.
Yeah, you can report people for this too.
No, there's more emote looping. So your favorite emotes are now an endless loop. They added 45 emote sequences to ensure that all of these will be looping. And that includes things like the treasure trail, like modified ones. So flared trousers, sleeping cap, powdered wig, or pantaloons give you their like extra cool emotes now. The one I'm most excited for is the birthday one where it's dancing with the confetti. Because I remember whenever we got it, I was like, oh, I wish we had that one on loop.
Yeah.
So I'm happy about that. Kind of cute.
Yeah, I think all the dancing ones should definitely be on loop. Those seem like by far the most obvious.
I don't know what the pantaloons do. I'll
Me
look that
neither.
up.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then kind of cute.
This is something that we did know. We knew this for a long time.
We're like psychic. We're getting another merch update with new U2's plushies. We're getting Garage Door and Sandwich Lady. I think they're so cute, actually. So they're dropping on 3/28. It'll already be out. They're gonna be $30 and they're 9 inches tall. Estimated to deliver between July and August. I really like the Garage Door. I don't think I'm gonna buy it, but I do really like it. I think it's super cute.
I think it's hilarious. Just on a separate note, I think it's hilarious that like kind of creator crafted kind of have like a weird falling out and they're all like, you know
what happened with that?
We do U2s now.
Well, to be fair, I think they still advertise creator crafted, but it does seem like they're starting to slowly copy everything that they do.
I mean, yeah, it's just
But Creator Crafter wasn't even the first two plushies. It was like Witchy Craft and Rice Bunny, like they did them.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like these are like more commercial.
Never forget the OGs. Also a merch thing that I found out from Discord. If any of you guys listen to the band The Browning,
kind of like how
they're metal, right?
I don't know. I just imagine like it sounds like the Verb version of, blowing up your pants.
Okay. Okay, so they posted on their Instagram, one of our mods posted this on Discord, OSRS Max Collection is alive to celebrate my life goal starting 2001 of hitting max stats on old school RuneScape. They created a merch line. They're all just like super metal style versions of, we have Cerberus, Zulrah, KBD. That one I can't tell, it's small. Kraken. There's like mouse pads and prints and then wall flags and mugs. It's all actually like very cool. You don't even really have to know who the Browning is to get them. Though the shirts do say the Browning. But if you want like a mug or a, what is this called? Mouse pad. They have some pretty cool ones.
Yeah, they also just have prints. You could just buy the prints too.
Yeah. I thought they were actually very sick designs.
You know what I just thought of is I feel like it's not a low chance that they have RuneScape reach out to them in a potentially like legal way.
No, because you know what they're going to do?
What?
Is the thing that we're allowed to do, just you could sell 100 of each.
Oh, okay.
Remember?
Yeah.
So potentially limited edition, if you guys want to get them. There's that rule where you can only have 100 of each.
Yeah, I was like...
Some of them aren't as obvious, like Cerberus is an actual thing. But
sure.
the Zulrah is just RuneScape.
Yeah. They do look really good, better than a lot of other merches I've seen in the past. But yeah, they do say the band's name on them. So obviously you would have to explain that if someone asks about it. And
if any of you guys like the Browning as well, the Singers Max Party will be March 30th, noon CST in Shiloh Village, World 347. If you want to go hang out for that.
Go hang out. Yeah. And they'll be live streaming the whole thing on the YouTube page for the band. Yeah. There's like 3 people in our Discord that listen to them. Like, I don't listen to them, but... Never heard of them. You've heard of them because every time someone says something, you're like, oh, that's what happens in my pants. What?
You've literally made jokes about pooping your pants several times from this band.
I mean, that makes sense because they're called the Brownie.
Yeah. Every time Ninja or Wraith mentions in chat, you say something about it.
That doesn't mean I've heard it.
No, not of, like you've heard of them.
No, I said I haven't heard them before, as in their band.
I've probably played them on stream. I was like, you've definitely heard of them.
No. Also, who hears the Browning and doesn't immediately think of poop?
You could like brown food.
No.
Like you're cooking it.
No.
We also have the RuneFest merch, Last Chance. Remember
How ridiculous. You're like browning your food. What the hell?
I'm trying to think of something.
Band, the My Yard reaction.
I don't know what that means.
That is literally what browning is.
Oh, is that what the browning is?
That is literally scientifically what the browning
You admit it. Anyway, new band drop, Poo Poo Pants. It doesn't mean what you think it means.
It means the browning.
RuneScape RuneFest merch, last chance. If you don't have a barcode, remember, ask your friend, hey, can I use your barcode?
Yeah, stupid
Wink,
requirements.
wink. We have some World 345 Deadman changes. We read those back and forth?
Yeah, sure. These are in addition to changes slash feedback from the
Last week? Or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, whenever they had the full update to World 345, including charms and stuff like that. So what they did is they also increased the rarity of charms and stopped players with Deadman protection from obtaining them. This is to help the prices of the items long term and reward players taking those risks with extra loot. So people were using the protection to go and farm charms and then sell them.
That's pretty funny. Remove the elite die requirement for purchasing for Elite Void. Cool sentence. I said that's so weird.
Yeah.
You don't have to do the elite die rate to purchase Elite Void. Now you can simply take regular Void Top Knight or robes to the Elite Void Knight at Pest Control and upgrade your regular pieces to Elite for 200 points per piece. That would have been so nice whenever I was hard stuck on killing Zolor and had to have you do it for me.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Embarrassing.
Okay.
Also, they added an option to change the respawn location to the GE. Talk to
Wait, I forgot that we were talking about Deadman stuff. Never mind. That Elite Void doesn't even matter for me.
Yeah, I was like, that's cool, but yeah, that
I was
wouldn't have
literally going to
applied.
say, I don't even remember reading this.
Talk to Brugson Burson at the Grand Exchange to choose your respawn location, similar to Deadman Armageddon.
How I remembered, like, oh, wait, this is Deadman, is because I read the respawn location of the GE, and I was like, what? I'm going to do that. And I was like, oh, Deadman.
No, you can't do that, yeah.
All players can now use Chivalry, Rigor, and Augury in the permanent Deadman mode, provided they have the prayer requirements, regardless of their defense level. Chivalry will still require completion of Holy Grail, but Rigor and Augury will still require the prayer scrolls.
Cool. Also, trinkets now turn to trinket dust upon death, similar to charms.
The old Deadman skulls, as seen in Bounty Hunter, have returned to permanent Deadman.
And lastly, a check has been added to prevent skulled players from diving with a rowboat on Fossil Island.
Oh, some other changes for the main game. Logging out while in TOB or TOA while you have an escape crystal in your inventory will now consume the crystal and teleport you outside the raid on login, preserving your hardcore life. Hopefully.
I think this is kind of cool.
That one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. I wonder how many people have died because of that.
This next one's actually sick.
Okay.
So now you can make all of the red, yellow, or blue dyes by talking to Aggie. There is a one-time dialogue, and then you can just select how many you want to do in one go.
You had to have a full, like, hour-long conversation with her before.
A lot of people didn't know you didn't have to.
What?
A lot of people didn't know. This was a good fix because previously you just had to, you could only make one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people didn't know, you included, I'm guessing, if you use the ingredients on her, she'll just make it.
Oh, I think I did learn that eventually. But yeah, you can still only do one at a time, which is
you can still only do one at a time. But a lot of people would like talk to her, go through the dialogue, be like blue, and then do the whole thing.
I think I learned eventually, but I'm pretty sure I was doing that for way too long.
Yeah.
Lore books and chambers and Tal will no longer drop once the player has read them.
It's funny because someone actually posted they were like upset because they specifically collected these.
Oh.
But apparently they still will actually be able to collect them.
Just don't read them.
As soon as you read them, though, they will not drop anymore.
Nice.
They also made it so that they fixed an issue where getting hit by another player's dual operation while using mystic cards could cause an emote loop option to stop working until the player moved tiles.
What even was the point of those little mystic cards?
I don't know.
But it was kind of fun the first day they came out when you like swing, swing,
yeah,
swing.
I would throw them at people.
It was fun. The Alchemist Amulet can no longer be purchased when the player has no space in their inventory.
And also, they fixed an issue where quickly destroying the Orb of Oculus while activating the Scry function could crash the client.
You're so fast, you're crashing the client.
Yep.
Love that. That is it for this week's update. I love this update.
True.
I love quality of life updates. I think it's so fun.
Wasn't there a thing with the was there a thing that I feel like I remember seeing a change with the amulet of the Phoenix not being able to be used at or in order to obtain Blorva?
Whoa.
Yes, I did.
I skipped a line.
You
Where
just
was
skipped
this?
I was all like, it's actually
Where?
it's the last line of the stuff we were just talking about.
Wait. What? Oh no! You see what they did? They didn't put it on the regular
Oh,
one. They only put it in the summed up version.
yeah, because for anyone that doesn't know,
Weird.
there's a summed up bullet point version of all the notes at the very top, and they put it in there, but not in the actual notes. So, getting
Dude.
saved by a phoenix necklace no longer restores your sanity in the Whisperer
Oh
fight.
my god, I should have taken
So
advantage of
a lot
this.
of people, or
Some
a good
people.
group of people are saying that they should reset the world records at Whisperer
Actually,
because it
maybe.
is very different getting them now.
Oh yeah, I bet. I had no idea that was a thing. Why did they include it in here and not down there?
Yeah, I
That's
was
so
like, I
funny.
feel like I saw something that was a really big
You know
change.
how confused I felt when I just searched it and saw this and I was like, but I was just on here and it wasn't
Yeah,
there. Okay. They make me feel like I'm crazy. That's it for that though. We can move on to our Q&A if you're ready.
yeah, sure.
Alrighty. First question is from Kurt, who said fun question section this week. Thanks, Kurt. Do you think it'd be reasonable if Iron Man had another way of leveraging high GE value dupes other than death coffers? Maybe a portion of the value as credit in a single shop. You first.
Sure.
I'm not Iron. So
For anyone that doesn't know how
I told him I
the
don't really know how they work that well.
yeah, for anyone that doesn't know how Death's Coffer work is it gives you the GE value of an item. You just put the item like let's say you get a dupe drop of a scythe and
Holy moly.
you put it in the coffer, then you will get a lot of money so that next time you die and you reclaim your stuff, you don't have to actually have the money. It's just it's just in your coffer.
It takes it out
Um
of that money though that you
yeah.
add.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the only thing that people that Iron Man do with dupes currently. There's like
Yeah, I think
no
it's not worth it.
I mean, you could try and drop trade it to a main or something like that. Obviously, that's always a choice, but a lot of Iron Men just do this because they don't have mains
Yeah.
or they don't care about the gold. So maybe if like there was a credit system based on the drop or something like that.
I just don't know where the credit, like, how would you decide where the credit goes? Like, what shop
Um,
would it go to?
I was gonna say based. That's
Like,
why I
rune
said
shop?
like based on the item that it goes. Yeah, just like the rune shop. So like, I I don't know what you would do with this for. Oh, actually, okay. So this is just me thinking that potentially of things that would work. I don't really think this would be a good idea, or that people would really even take advantage of this. And what I'm about to say is probably broken. That being
Okay.
said, I could see like maybe any like metal weapons like the scythe or declaws or something like that. If you're like, I already have 500 mil in my coffer, I'm never going to use that much. Maybe if I could get a credit at the like somewhere that, for instance, like let's say at the blast furnace, the guy there sells
Mm.
ore. He sells
Mm-hmm.
ores, and it's unlimited for Iron Man.
Oh.
So I was like, maybe you can just like be like, I need 500 of whatever ore, or I need 10,000 coal in order to actually get my blacksmithing or my smithing up. Then it's like, all right, cool. I'll just trade in my declaws, and I'll have plenty of money to buy all that stuff.
I was thinking you could even trade it in for blast furnace time because you have to pay for the
But I mean,
time.
no one's going to
But
use
it's
that
actually
much
not worth much,
no
is
one's going to
it?
use that much blast
You don't have
furnace
to pay
time.
much at blast furnace.
If you give them a mill, that's like pretty much all you'll ever need until like forever.
I remember giving a mill and getting scared because I forgot how slow it is, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna run
Yeah.
out! I need to hurry!"
No,
No.
it takes forever. So that's the only thing I was thinking of. Like maybe there's a shop that has to deal with smithing other than that one, but that's just the first example I thought of that sells an unlimited amount of like smithing materials.
I guess that
So
would make the most sense for armor, or maybe like the respective shop because we have like archery shops,
yeah.
blah blah blah,
But I
mage
mean the thing is
shops,
like
but you're not really gonna buy as much
yeah,
stuff there.
exactly. That's why I was like I have
Well,
to
you could buy fletching supplies from the archery. I'm reaching.
yeah, I was like
You could buy runes with the mage gear.
maybe the only way I could see this is if they added shops specifically for this because
Hmm.
there's no archery shop that's useful.
Yeah,
Straight up. And
or
if
you could
they
change it to a fletching
if
shop.
they
Maybe then.
added like a fletching specific side dialogue to the archery shop that only sold strings and half made bows or even just strings,
Hmm.
then that would potentially be useful. Like if you're like, oh, I got another like rune dragon limbs. Like I don't need these. So
Hmm.
it's like you give it to them for like an extra mil.
That could be kind of cool.
That potentially be cool. And then obviously for the mage stuff, that would just be rune shop credit.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think one single shop would work because like what would that shop sell? You know,
yeah,
I don't think there's anything unless it was like food.
it would have to be relative to what type of item you're doing.
I agree, but I still think Death Coffer is probably better than these.
Well, I mean, after
As a main.
you put like 500 mil in there, you're like,
No, that's
bro.
true. In leagues, I put a bunch of stuff and I was like, well, guess I'm down to Death's Coffer now.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, I'm pretty sure the max value is like 5 or not 5 mil, but the max value isn't a ton. Like you'd have to
It's not the same as
repeatedly
cash stack.
you'd have to repeatedly die with a ton of the best gear for you to run out of like 500
Dude,
mil.
me at DK is 12 mil. Remember?
Yeah.
That was so upsetting. 12 mil to reclaim my stuff. Because they didn't tell you, back then they didn't tell you until after you agreed to reclaim it.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, shoot, that sucks.
Yeah, so I think that could be a potentially cool idea because if you think about it, like no one's really gonna take super advantage of that. But the thing is, I think it would have to be. I think people would take advantage of it if like they got a bunch of rune items and they would just obviously do that to, you know, subvert an entire skill line.
Could just do it with uniques.
I was gonna say it would have to be like
it's in the collection log.
like potentially like yeah, collection log or raid items or something like that had a requirement that was more than just farming Scurious.
True. Next question is from Cage on Spotify. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I think that we've said this before that I don't know how to pronounce it. But potentially a radical idea. But what would people think if sailing had a separate pet system where sailing pets, turtle, duck, etc., would only be able to follow your boat around in the water? Could be weird, but if it would fit anywhere, it would be sailing.
Yeah.
You kind of like this, I think.
I thought it was kind of cool. Because
I'll let you talk first.
Well, I think it's like a lot of people have ideas for pets that are water based. For instance, I think
A goldfish.
I think that the Leviathan pet is stupid because
I like the Leviathan
pet is just currently always coming out of water no matter where you are.
But it would look so cool in the water.
Yeah, which looks stupid.
And what if it was like
so I think there's a lot of ideas like that one that would look straight up stupid to me if there's just like, oh, I have this really cool thing like the Kraken pet that's just always half out of water. It's like, that's dumb. It should just be limited to the water only. Because then I also think that would be cool because it's limiting, but also they could use that as a reason to be like, all right, well, we're adding more pets to sailing because they're specific to sailing.
Yeah. Only if you could still bring your regular pets on the boat too.
Yeah.
I don't like it specifically though because I like just seeing pets in my POH, and if there's a duck and I couldn't see that duck in my POH, I'd be upset.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty cute.
I think it would be potentially be pretty cool if you could have like not a menagerie like the house, but like an aviary housing so that you could have like multiple aerial pets at once.
That'd be kind of cool. Well, that'd be super cool. Even in your POH, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I guess so. But I was thinking like, because you know, there's like now we have the bird from Rumors, Quetzin, and then we also have the herring, obviously. So it's like you could add
the
more.
The herring, like a fish.
The heron.
Does the armadillo count?
Yeah, I guess so. It flies.
Just a bird in
you
gear.
Can have it like, oh, like this is like the bird cage where they sleep at night, and then when you're on the boat, you know, the biggest one, you can build this thing that allows you to have multiple birds because, you know, birds are fairly sailing thematic. So
yeah.
I think that would be potentially a cool way to do it.
I like the idea of them falling if it's in water. I'd like this more if it could be optional. Like if you get a sailing pet, if you can still take it on land, but if you want it to be out while you're sailing, it's behind your boat.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't like it being like you could never have it in your POH because I love putting stuff in my POH.
Okay.
That's where I keep Scurious.
And he would stay there. He's not a water pet. He'd stay there
forever. Oh, if he was in water, he'd die.
What?
He'd probably die. Tell me he wouldn't.
Rats can swim.
Oh, but then he'd get exhausted and eventually die.
Oh my god. Yeah, I guess so. Whatever.
Sad. Alrighty. Next question is from Matt on Discord. Matt's question actually got a couple of responses from other people as well.
How dare you?
We'll read those. Matt said, do you think AI will contribute to the building of OSRS maps in the future? Imagine if Jagex could somehow leverage AI to create absolutely massive seas with the current map design. That could satisfy players' wishes for more exploration with the sailing skill and allow the mods more time to develop new content like monsters, bosses, items, etc. that AI could auto add to the game and auto add into the new AI generated maps. Sorry, I'm so struggling to read. And then I can't read. Oh, because I'm on streamer mode in Discord, I can't read what your username is. But would you like to read the responses? The first response, and I'll read the second.
Yeah, sure. Someone said, "What do you need AI for?" Though I'm sure there's plenty of algorithms that do most of that already. You'd still need a human to pass over it and final check it as well. That said, AI could always complement an artist designer if they wanted to incorporate that technology into the workflow.
Okay, and that was Last Samurai, by the way. I just went and looked at my phone. We have another response from RuneScape Schools, aka Moose. So PCG, procedural content generation, exists solely for that stuff. There's trees, forests of algorithms that could decide the generation of some of the game content that a normal human would take days, weeks to develop and perfect. AI wouldn't be much of a step forward from that, but it can have certain applications within the game itself, though. Like maybe a certain boss can have ML capability to keep the individual boss instance always being a challenge to the player. So there's not always one method to kill the boss, and because it's constantly evolving, new techniques can counter your methods. They also said, not sure if this channel allows discussion, so my bad if since this isn't a question. You guys are allowed to discuss on the channel as long as you're not arguing.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny though. Last time I said, I'll do the right thing and ban myself for some several hours now. Farewell. Matt had a response to that though. It wouldn't replace a human. The humans would still create the monsters, bosses, items, etc. So that they can balance them properly. Then the AI would auto-populate and generate the map. That way the mods can focus on other things that AI cannot do. Next question from Hariger.
Why wouldn't we just answer that question first?
I forgot. You.
I was like, what are you talking about, dude? You can't just skip the question and go on to the next one.
We've had other responses. Listen, I forgot it was actually a question at the beginning.
All right, yeah.
I don't like it because...
Oh, cool.
Because...
Yeah, sure. Let's elaborate on that.
I don't love AI stuff that much.
You don't?
Yeah, I try not to.
Interesting.
I try not to love it. Like with video games too, I guess, I mean, it would have to be looked over. I'm not opposed to the idea of AI giving them ideas and stuff and them looking over it, but just like AI generating it without them being looked over is kind of scary. Also, I think a lot of people would complain if we're adding too much areas too fast because people like doing that.
Interesting.
Well, what do you think?
I don't like it for a different reason.
Oh, your
guess.
reason's right and mine's not?
No, because I don't think you are taking everything into consideration.
Okay. Well, people would lose their jobs too.
I don't care about that.
I care about that.
But one, I just think it would clearly not be bespoke the way the rest of RuneScape is. RuneScape isn't like a Korean, gotcha game where it doesn't kind of matter sometimes in those games. But even though that being said, there's still plenty of bespoke things in those games too.
Yeah.
So I just don't think it would really work for a lot of different reasons. I don't think it would add to the story. That being said, I think it could have a place, not necessarily as AI, but more like what Moose said for procedural generation, which is already a thing that exists in a lot of games. For instance, Path of Exile. So I think that could exist in a very meaningful way in like generated dungeon content, like potentially the upcoming boss for Delve. Like if every single level was different because it was generated. The thing is, that is cool, not for a game like RuneScape, though.
I don't think it'd work for RuneScape because we love having these metas and stuff. Like, that's so RuneScape to know what you're doing. And, like, it's satisfying to, like, learn and be able to perfect it. To have it always changing. I like the way that we have it always changing now. Like, you can change it at Coliseum by selecting options. But having it, like, completely random, I just feel like... It's kind of like what I said before, like I'm not against AI helping come up with the ideas, but if it starts implementing it, I worry about the issues that would arise, really.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think I think the community relies too heavily on bespoke type of content. And for that reason, I just would have to absolutely say no. Like, I mean, look at even the most celebrated types of content like the Inferno or Coliseum or any of the harder bosses in the game. All of those things are highly tuned. I don't think they're, super fine tuned. I think they could do a few more passes on everything. But
Yeah.
that being said, they're still highly reliable systems. And so this game isn't a game based on reaction. If it was, then you could have AI stuff because it kind of wouldn't matter. It's just how you react to it. But that's not how this game is. So I don't think it would work for that. That being said, specifically not for that. But I think AI has a very strong future for a lot of games in the generation of conversation in games, because that is an extremely easy thing for them to learn.
Oh, like humans talking.
Yeah, so
but sometimes it is awkward, when you read something written by AI.
Well, yeah,
you can
for
tell
sure.
it's weird.
But I mean, like, for instance, it doesn't have to be original script generated by AI. I mostly meant like voice.
Oh, like voice.
I mean, I don't think that would, necessarily work for RuneScape. So maybe it would be the typing, but then that's also still pretty bespoke. So
I was gonna say people do love like the little jokes, like the frog one with the weird union stuff.
Yeah. So that being said, I don't really think either of them would super fit well in RuneScape. But as far as AI goes, I think AI is already being used
I'm sure they're already using it somewhere.
in those conversation bits in a lot of games already, whether it's type or voiceover. I think would be the easiest option, because you can already go to any or to a few different websites. Like I think like 11T I think is a website that does like voice generation, and you can do it for like your own or for other people's.
That's scary.
Yeah,
that someone can pay to use your voice is really scary.
Yeah, like for instance, another streamer, Quinn, he has, or a lot of people actually, even Basilla, they have their own AIs.
Her little AI on her screen
Yeah,
is really
if you just
funny.
supply it with enough, voice lines of yourself, then it'll just pick up on it. And so it's really easy. And I've seen people do stuff like this for like dwarven stuff.
Oh.
And they've applied it to things in RuneScape of dwarves, and it actually works pretty well.
Just, if you guys do need this, don't ever do it to someone else's face or voice without their permission. That's when it gets weird.
Yeah. You're a little weirdo.
What? I'm giving a PSA. No one ever has permission to do that with us. Like, don't. I don't like it.
Well, now people are gonna do it.
Ew. Well, I'll ban them.
I'll ban them.
So then I won't ever have to see them again.
Okay.
Next question is from Harger on Discord. Although this is in response to him as well. Although this is pretty interesting, I'd be curious to know what they think about. Well, let me add a new question here. ... A little ominous. Since there's already this AI discussion happening, if the AI is not used for map creation, what do you think it could be best used for? We kind of answered that a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I already totally answered this.
And are there other games using AI for map creation? Please, Mario Kart, don't do this. Matt actually thought that Mario Kart AI could be cool because it means an online game mode where there's a new map every race. All your opponents also don't know the map.
I think that would be kind of cool.
I think that'd be fun, but I know because it's AI, I'd be a little busted too. Like, they're probably like little broken bits.
I mean, maybe. The thing is,
the idea of being surprised is fun.
I feel like you think like they're just like, they're all like, they pull up Chat GPT, and then they're all like, all right, make a new level for us, and then they just go with whatever they got. But no, like they're
more advanced.
A lot of these language models, or I mean, obviously it wouldn't be a language model in this case, it would just be whatever they're using machine learning for, but that they're bespoke in a lot of ways, specifically for that application. And I think I definitely think it would work for things like that are session based. I feel like it could be incredibly useful for things that are session based.
Barracuda trials.
Yeah, actually, that would be cool. Like things like that, or like dungeoneering. If they brought it back and used a bunch of like AI tools to make each dungeon different each time, that would be pretty cool. But I mean, like any game that's session based, like literally any game that has
Phasmophobia, new map every time.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Like every time you jump in, it loads a new map with like new whatever features. I think that'd be cool. Like they could do that for games like, Tarkov, or any game that you jump in and out, because it's not persistent. So it doesn't need to like constantly be either highly accurate or, rely on old things. So
I'm torn about that, because like it would be cool every time, but then, and this is, you might think it's cheesy, But then it's kind of like in my mind dismissing the artists like hard work that have been like working on this map, perfecting and all this stuff. And people would just rather, okay, you know what to compare it to? And tell me this isn't a good comparison. AI is like fast fashion. And then having actual developers do it is like more sustainable fashion. Because you just want changes so quick, so fast that you're willing to like take the L on the ethics of it or whatever. That's a good comparison. Wow, I never really have good comparison.
It's an okay comparison.
Way. No, I feel like it's really good.
I don't see it that way. I see it as like the right tool for the right job is kind of how I see it, because that's what AI is at the end of the day. It should just be something you use to either complement your current work or you use for something that it just is good at. Like for instance, the voice generation thing. It's just, it is good at spitting out or getting a voice that's good, you know, that it's given lines and then turning that into something that sounds realistic. So it's like, I could see that being used in a game that does a lot of voiceover extremely easily, and it would be better than nothing.
Yeah.
So I could see that, but like for creating extremely bespoke, custom, you know, trying to yield a very specific response from your player base, it doesn't do that well, which is what RuneScape does.
Yeah.
So it's like if suddenly everything felt like it was just generated, you would immediately understand that this is what's happening.
I've played some games like that. I weirdly felt that way about like Genshin Impact.
Yeah.
I'm like, it doesn't feel like as personal. Like they didn't really care as much. I didn't get very into it though. I know some people are really into Genshin. I didn't play the longest.
Yeah, that game actually has a pretty good story and stuff like that. I don't know which parts of that probably uses it. I'm sure they do to some extent, especially being,
I'm sure even RuneScape uses it in some aspects, but not noticeably at least.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think that one, it's a game that relies on, you know, almost 20-year-old tech at this point.
Yeah.
So I don't really think they need it to build onto their stuff, and the stuff that they do build onto it, like I said, is highly, you know, highly interactive with the players on like a deeper level,
customized
than something that AI can just render real quick.
Yeah. AI wasn't in the trenches with us.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know of any games they're already using for map creation, by the way, but I'm sure there are some.
No, I mean, not for map creation,
but like indie games probably.
I don't think indie games are whipping up custom AI bots for their games.
Not for like the instance, like you said, but wasn't Power World like part of that was all AI? Like all the characters were AI design? Am I making up lore? I might be making up lore.
I have no idea. I mean, they could have just fed it all of the Pokemon and been like spit something out, but it's like, also it's like, I don't know, like at what, you know, limit AI is or isn't, because like if we're talking about like procedural generation, technically that's, you know, some type of machine learning, but it's not like how you and I imagine, like, oh, build me a picture of this, and then it just out of nothing builds me a picture.
Yeah.
Like procedural generation is like, we gave you a bunch of building blocks, now make a thing. And so that's used highly in things like Diablo. It has been for many years. Or,
I'm okay with that.
Or action RPG things where it's like, we give you, you know, 50,000 pieces. Every time someone logs into this map, it needs to look different than the last one. And it needs to have these particular parts. That already exists in a lot of different games. So it's like, is that AI? Is that the AI you're thinking of? Because, I don't know, it works differently. So it does exist if that is the case. If it's not, then I'm sure it's used for language and stuff like that in certain games.
And assistance.
Yeah, especially with like things like localization. Localization can take a really long time and be really expensive. That's when they change a game from like English to Korean and vice versa.
Yeah.
That can take a long time and it's very expensive.
I can imagine.
So I imagine they use AI for that already.
Surely. Last thing, it's not a question, but we have a rant from Samurai that said, please discuss on the show.
Sure.
Will you read this in dramatic voice? That'd be funny.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, let's go. And before we read this, I would like to say I did not get this far in the sailing alpha, so I actually don't really have much of a comment, but go off.
Yeah, so this is their rant on
duckies.
The current duck.
Read like you're pissed.
For anyone that doesn't know what the current duck does, I'll just let you know that the current duck is a duck that accompanies you while you are looking for specific currents or specific things in your captain's log, and you keep a log of it. This is the thing that's a one-time XP boost.
That part is kind of late.
So they say, why is no one talking about just how bad that current duck mechanic is in the alpha? Across Discord and Reddit, I seem to be the only one that cares just how bad it is as part of the potential sailing gameplay loop. Go ahead and base the concept of something that happened in real life. But as it stands, we're not even collecting actual data about currents. So what the heck are we actually doing? It doesn't lead to unlocking currents in the ocean or lead to any sort of purpose. We're supposed to be collecting data on ocean currents, then use that quote unquote data to then access those currents as slipstreams or speed boost fins that location. The quote unquote charting data isn't stored anywhere for any practical use except noted down as a completed task. The whole mechanic just doesn't make any sense. And everyone seems to be fine with it as part of the core gameplay experience, the same thing like WTF. Unless it gets developed further and expanded upon for the full release, it needs to be cut because the current deck doesn't have any practical or meaningful purpose except for some shitty XP.
It's wild to think that this passes a skill mechanic in OSRS in 2025. I don't know if the dev that developed this was smoking. And then just a harsh word about the dev. You did a really good job.
Yeah, none of those feelings are my own. That was just literally what Samurai wrote.
Should he be a voice actor? Hello?
No.
Fiverr?
But
Goose was even getting nervous, by the way.
What are your thoughts on the current duck situation?
So, I didn't get to the current duck, but we have spoken in the past. Oh, also, by the way, Samurai said, love the show, keep it up, thanks. We have talked in the past about if this is how the current duck comes in, about how the exploring thing being a one-time deal is kind of lame.
Yeah.
I did do some Googling because I was like, I don't really know much about it. And I saw you last Samurai. I was like, oh, someone complained on Reddit. It was you. I was like, hey, wait.
Yeah.
I saw there. And I was reading some of the comments. I didn't read much. I was eating dinner. But I thought one was like kind of a good point is that it's really just a way to jumpstart to get you to 30 because getting to 30 is kind of lame. But at the same time, like other skills don't have that. But it is a new skill. And like they're trying to make it more OSRS rather than just RuneScape. So I don't know.
Sure.
All in all, it's kind of like neutral for me just because I didn't get that far in the alpha.
It's kind of crazy that Last Samurai is
The Last Samurai.
No, Tom Cruise. That's his account. You know that, right?
This is Tom Cruise?
Yeah,
Thomas?
Thomas Cruise.
Thomas Cruise?
My favorite movie, The Last Samurai.
I'm pretty sure my dad
with Chow Yun-fat.
My dad gives like Tom Cruise energy. He thinks he does.
Also, I don't think it's actually Chow Yun-fat, but
we're making up rumors.
Yeah, anyways, I honestly am half agreeing with you because I don't like the mechanic. I don't think it really makes any sense. You're charting
we have
things
talked about it.
that are not really purposeful. Like you said, there really is literally no purpose other than discovering them, which, I mean,
that's fun if it was continuous and doesn't stop.
I guess it's okay that like, it's like, all right, I didn't know this coast was here. I mean, we've mapped all of Gilnorb, so
I do know it was there.
We do know it's
I've
there.
actually fished here.
So yeah, like we're finding, fishing spots or currents kind of for no reason, and you can only do it once, which is also weird.
That's the lame part.
I honestly would prefer them to choose on either making a way for this game mechanic to be recurrent or to remove it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it as it is. If it's a scapegoat to get you out of level 30 quicker, I also don't like it even more because that just means that there's either something fundamentally wrong with the skill or that's just actively saying that you don't think the skill is good up to 30.
Yeah.
Which, RuneScape sucks up to 30. So, or RuneScape. It does. But
other
no,
skills.
Runecrafting sucks up to 30, but like, we're not getting any escapes for that. So
we are able to get like Gardens of the Rift at like level 12.
No, it takes you to 25 after doing the quest.
No, then you can do something fun.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
this could be something that AI was used for to keep giving you more random things to add for the charting.
Sure. Yeah, whatever. I don't think it really fits well in the skill. It also, yeah, you're right. It thematically doesn't make sense either. Like
It's a one and done.
It's not like it's part of history. Like, oh, ducks have always showed people the way currents are. Like, no, this is just a weird thing that
I think the duck thing's cute.
It's cute, sure, but it just doesn't really make sense. Like, it's not like it's a bird that's showing you things, or like there's a pirate showing you things or anything.
It's a duck. He can feel it on his little toes.
Yeah, it's just a duck that goes into the ocean, because that's definitely not what ducks do. They don't go into the ocean.
We have a duck expert over here.
I'm just saying.
Show off.
So I do agree with you half. Like, if I would just prefer them do one or the other. As it is, I don't like it.
Okay. That's it for our Q&A and for our rant at the end.
Yeah, big Q&A.
I kind of liked the rant thing, if anyone else wants to do that. That's kind of interesting to read. And your voice is pretty good for it, too.
True. So, yeah, we do hope all of you enjoyed it. And thank you for the plentiful questions.
There's a lot of questions.
This week. I do like listening to them and thinking about ducks.
I, too, love to think about ducks all the time.
Yeah, if you want to
gooses.
If you want to hear us talk about ducks and gooses, then feel free to follow us on any of our socials.
Yeah, our TikTok and Twitter, Bunebapeosrs. Our Twitch, YouTube, Blue Sky, and Instagram are all Bunebape. I stream 4 days a week at twitch.tv/Bunebape. And sometimes I'll show you guys Moose and Goose, who Robert's petting right now. So come stop by and you can see the little babies. And you can see if I finally get something in Chambers. Also, I signed up for a bingo. I have not paid it yet, but I'm nervous about that because I won't be able to pay much. Yeah. It's the bingo that you saw that you're like, you don't ever do bingos anymore. And I was looking at the board and I was like, it looks really fun. So I signed up and just put like no hours.
Her contribution will be like 1 hour's gameplay.
Yeah, but it said that's anonymous. Unless they're listening to this podcast, then they know.
All right, well, I'm going to go play some Path of Exile.
And I'm going to go dye my hair.
Hopefully you had a good time. If you did, then we'll see you all
very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.